Hello everybody, my name is Ray. I'm back. Today I'm going to be talking about and reviewing the Dolly Parton album, Dolly Parton's Greatest Hits. Cool nice picture back here in the yellow. I'm not going to be reviewing the Dolly Parton album. It's just an April Fool's joke. Alright. What I'm going to be talking about is shred guitar, guitar solos, and all that other stuff. Now, it is April, and it's International Guitar Month. So, what I plan to do to celebrate that is, of course, play my guitar more, but also to review. I'm going to be reviewing 3 or 4 of my favorite shred guitar albums of all time. And so what I plan on doing is doing those completely separate and make a separate video of the rambling. If any of you have watched my other previous videos, they're sometimes 10 to 13 minutes long, depending on, and then I have like 8 to 10 minutes of extra time because I do a lot of rambling about stuff. So today what I plan on doing is talking about the guitar stuff and shred guitar and doing all my rambling in one separate video so I could fully concentrate on each album when I do a review for each of those albums. The 3 or 4 albums I do. I know I have 3, I gotta pick one more. Okay. So, guitar, shredding guitar. What do Star Wars figures have to do with the shred guitar? Absolutely nothing. But I don't have any other tapestry that represents specifically guitar shred. I got some coming in for the albums that I'm going to be reviewing. Okay, so for guitar shredding, shred guitar is good. It's one of those things where damned if you do, damned if you don't. When there's somebody who's like shredding on guitar, people criticize and insult them. Rockers all alike. I'm talking about people like hard rock, from Poison, Bon Jovi, Whitesnake to the thrash metal and stuff and newer stuff. Anytime they're like, oh well, that's just shredding and stuff like that. That's boring, and they don't like it. Yet at the same time, they'll insult somebody if they're not like good enough. Like how C.C. DeVille got bashed a lot of times, and many times during the 80s. Up until at least from 86 to 1990, people bashed C.C. DeVille all the time, saying he wasn't a great guitarist. And, oh, he's not that good. Oh, he's not good. He's not a good guitarist. So you have to be good. And of course, lo and behold, once that corny alternative scene came in, and then it was really annoying because what happened was even the rocker metalheads and friends and people that I knew, a lot of everybody, were liking the Pearl Jam and Nirvana and Stone Temple Pilots and all this other stuff. And then it was like, well, what the heck? You guys didn't like loudness, you didn't like accept, and now you're going gung-ho over these guys? Well, what the heck? So guitar magazines kind of did the same thing as what people did. They watched MTV and they went with the flow, they went with the crowd, and they decided to follow and just really mainly listen to. Of course, this stuff was promoted. Probably that's how and why, because the other stuff that I liked wasn't promoted as such much. And then the alternative bands and everything, which I think really sucked at guitar, were promoted. So you saw Pearl Jam and Nirvana and Alice in Chains and all those other bands. I know a lot of people like Alice in Chains, sorry, but I didn't think they were anything incredible. I didn't hate them, but I didn't see what the big hype was. So, it was just kind of annoying when you see that, and even until up to this day, and I know because and of course I've seen some online, and of course my friend at work downstairs, he has a whole like box full of all the guitar back issues and stuff like that, and every once in a while when it's kind of slow, I'll look through those guitar back issues, Guitar Player, and Guitar World and Guitar for the Practicing Musician. So of course I have the list right here. I'll try to remember it. But I'm just going to read off the list because I don't give a shit. And these guitarists, which I think are incredible guitarists and underrated, I mean, you probably might have seen them in little snippets, columns within the guitar magazine, but they've never been on the cover. The 4 guitarists that never been on any guitar cover magazine, well, with the exception of probably one of them, the Japan magazines, but the main guitar magazines never been on the cover are as follows: Wolf Hoffman, if accept, Akita Takasaki of Loudness, Chris Olivia from Sabotage, and then Gary Holt from Exodus. Those guys never made the cover for any guitar magazine. It's just like, you know, what the heck. They have all these other ones. I understand why they put Jimi Hendrix on there. He's a legend. Eddie Van Halen was a legend. Even, you know, a living legend at that time, you know, during the 90s and early 2000s and 80s. Angus Young, you know, there's so many of them that make sense. Okay, alright, so they're going to put Billy Gibbons and the other guy, I forgot his name, ZZ Top on the cover. Okay, I could slide, I understand that. Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd's in experimental music and stuff like that. A lot of people like Pink Floyd. I kind of like Pink Floyd to an extent. So, they put those on the cover, and that's alright, but, you know, it's what the heck. Inside the guitar magazines, they're promoting and stressing on the whole fact you should learn shred, you should shred, and then they come out with the issue Shred Not Dead, and then they put Joe Satriani on the cover. And then, of course, what did they do? They have the 2-page article, just 2 pages, with little pictures, maybe it was 3 pages, of shred guitar. Oh, here are some shred albums that you might want to check out. There was a quick little, you know, article on it, quick little mention about shred guitar. Now, I don't know, shred guitar to me is just, it's just heavy metal, it's just guitar music. So I'm not the type of person where I want to listen to a full album of just continuous shredding. You know, I might want to check out a couple of songs, but I do like the fact that some of the shredders out there actually just have a band situation. Like for example, Malmsteen. Yngwie Malmsteen has his shredding, of course, but he has a bass player and drummer and always a singer. Of course, every dang album, it's a different singer at least. He's gone through 7, 8 singers, 10 singers. Who the hell knows? A bunch of different ones. But then, of course, I can't really you could call Gary Holt kind of a shredder, but he's in a band, and the band is Exodus, and they're established that way. Same thing with Paul Gilbert. Paul Gilbert's awesome, and his solo stuff, I like. The stuff with Mr. Big, well, it's okay. Some of it's okay. I'm not really wild about. Steve Vai solo stuff. There's some vocals within there, and then there's some singing. He put out a couple of albums with several songs where they're singing. One of them, the Sex and Religion album, 93, he actually had a singer. So that's good. Nobody wants to really hear, I mean, I kind of don't. Some people do. Just an album where it's just all shredding. You know, you want to hear a chorus, you want to hear a little bit of melody, you want to hear a little bit of clean tone stuff and all that other stuff. So the next 3 albums, that what I like about is just everything what I just mentioned. Okay, so not only fans and stuff like that and guitar magazine, there was even other professional good musicians out there who were talking about the alternative scene in guitars. Oh yeah, I like those bands. Yeah, those bands are good. It's like, that's the reason why you're not doing good now. It's because of those bands. Why the heck you like them? I mean, maybe they like the songs and stuff, but I mean, even in recent years, they have praised them and talked about them. Take a look at this.
And people say someone like Kurt Cobain wasn't a great guitar player. Well, was he a virtuoso guitar player? You can argue not, but was he effective? Try to play like Kurt Cobain. It's not that easy, you know.
Yeah, it's not that hard either playing like Kurt Cobain, I'll tell you that. I didn't have anything personally against the guy, I just think that some of these people are overrated. Next segment. The next segment is women in rock, girls playing guitar. Alright, I'm going to be honest. I like girls to play guitar. I think it's awesome. I think a lot of times, you know, it's just, there's always that, mention that they're female. There's this guitar, saw a YouTube channel within the past year or so. Well, the first YouTube channel to actually just feature and celebrate women in rock. No, not really. I celebrate women in rock. And there's a lot of other channels, whether it's Heart, Little Ford, or who the heck ever, celebrate women in rock. I mean, you know, Joan Jett, the Runaways, all that other stuff. I mean, come on, they're not the first ones. They're focusing on specifically and only women, segregating themselves. Of course, they wanted to be included, but then they're like, oh, man, we got our own club. It's the women of rock. Now, look, I like women, too, who... Now, look, I like women who play guitar also. I think it's great, and a lot of them are good. That's for sure. And there's nothing I like seeing more than, you know, the tit hanging over the guitar, body of the guitar. That's for sure. I'm going to be completely honest here. However, then there's the people that would be like, oh, well, you just like them because it's some hot blonde like Nita Strauss or who they got her, or Courtney Cox or whatever. And the picture of Courtney Cox, that picture right there just screams, hey guys, try to concentrate on my guitar playing. I think a lot of them use their sexuality every single time when there's a video on YouTube. Some of them, you know, are showing a little bit of boob and stuff. And I don't mind it. I don't have any complaints about that, that's for sure. But yet at the same time, you got to think, well, do they want people to focus on their talent instead of their looks? It's a pretty blonde-haired girl. Oh, it's this hot brunette. And she's showing a little bit of tit while playing, you know? Are they trying to get attention that way? Well, so it's working for them in ways because they're getting more attention than Cameron Cooper or Robert Baker, who I think are two great YouTube guitarists. You know, I don't know. And that's why I think it's easier for a straight guy like me to focus on, to watch guys play. Because when you're watching a guy playing and give the lesson and do a guitar solo, you're focusing on the guitar. You're focusing on the fingers, you're focusing on the notes, everything but. I just think it's really distracting. Once again, I love women. When you see these girls playing and, you know, they're playing the guitar solo or whatnot, or even if they give a lesson and there's just, you know, some tit hanging out. It's kind of hard to concentrate on specifically guitar in that way. Just saying. A lot of guys out there would probably agree. Okay. So, women drummers, bass players, I love them. They're great. Yeah, I think they're good. But then, you know, the whole sexism thing comes in. But I'm not going to get into the whole sexism thing. The only thing I think that would be corny, and what's happened, what seems to just keep happening, I think it'd be corny and odd for a girl anywhere between 13 and whatever, how many years old, in her late 20s, to state, yeah, I'm going to play guitar, and I'm going to show the world, I'm going to show them, and I'm going to show the world that women can rock. You know what? The past 6-7 years, if you're a girl and you're thinking it, don't even bother. It's already been done. We already know that women can rock. There's been plenty of women that have proven it. Okay? Next subject.